my best friends. I'm Tabby.
And I'm Caitlin, and today we are discussing The Saltwater Curse by Avina St. Graves.
Better late than never.
Listen, we're doing our best, and our best is good enough to me.
And our best is all we can do, you know?
So let me just hop on over to Goodreads, see what the people are saying about this. So it's rated a 3.62 on Goodreads. I feel like that's fair. Felt like like an average read. So first of all, I will read the back of the book. A woman escaping her past. Christy Gallagher has slayed a monster before. When she could no longer live with her husband's abuse, she plunged a knife into his neck. Then she fled his family's criminal empire, changing her name and traveling to the far reaches of the world before finding her safe haven in Bali. She's used to looking over her shoulder, but nothing could prepare her for the monster that lurks beyond the shore. Sharp claws, grasping tentacles, krakens are real, and their king has decided she's to be his bride. A monster trying to end a curse. Ortis is king of the Deadlands, the last kraken of his bloodline, and the final hope to break a terrible curse that plagues his lands. He must find his destined bride, his soulmate, and marry her to save the kingdom. His fated mate shouldn't be a human, but something about her calls to him like no other creature has before. He drags her to his island, kicking and screaming, begging to be returned to the mainland. Ortis must convince her he's not a monster to be feared, but her soulmate who will protect her from anything and anyone who means her harm, including his own people.
Wow, that was it. That was the whole book right there.
That is it. Except that it's not, because there was like a whole lot of information at the beginning of this Secret Life.
Yeah.
And I was like, where is the Kraken? I was promised a Kraken. I almost DNF'd the book.
Like, I don't give a fuck about what happened with Tommy Gallagher.
I give a fuck about your paranoid ass. Girl, where is the Kraken? Anyways.
No, like, she gave me too much. She gave me too much.
Too much and also not enough.
First of all, okay, before I dive into this, because I've got a lot to say about this book, we need to get our ratings out of the way. I rated this book a 7.84 out of 10. Because, yeah, it just, I don't know if I wasn't in the mood for it, because, like, I do love monster romances, but this one just fell, like, really flat for me. It wasn't what I wanted.
Yeah.
It just wasn't what I wanted. It was good, like, technical-wise, it was written well, but just not up my alley this time, unfortunately.
Yeah, and you know what? I rated it a little bit higher, an 8.2 out of 10, because I did enjoy it. It was written well, and my hopes had been high. Like, I had anticipated this book for a while. I feel like that could have led to some of my disappointment. But I think, like, you make a good point. We love monster romance, but this one didn't really follow the formula that is, like, beloved to the monster romance genre. And I think in that way, it ended up disappointing me because I was expecting the usual, like, you know, sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, sometimes a monster romance just needs to follow its little formula.
A monster romance, like.
And it was a monster romance, but it wasn't. And so I wanted more and I didn't get it. It was good, but I won't be rereading it, unfortunately.
No. There really weren't, like, a ton of characters in this book either. It was, like, primarily just focused on Cindy and Ortis. So I would love to talk about Cindy, because this was her show. This was her world, and we were just living in it.
Amen.
And she annoyed the shit out of me. My God. And, like, I felt bad, because I'm like, she's a victim. And she's really, like, obviously she came from, like, a pretty rough life.
She did.
Okay? That for her. But also, shut the fuck up.
It was rough to be privy to her thoughts because it was just kind of like she needed an antipsychotic.
Yeah, like, her anxiety was giving me anxiety, and I was like, I don't want to read this anymore. Because, like, if I hear one more thing, like, they're coming after me, like, they're in my walls, and I'm like, oh my God, okay.
I'm telling you, she was giving psychotic breakdown, and it was, like, not the vibe.
Okay, I have to say this about her because I feel like we've been bullying Cindy. But one thing that I think is a very charming quality about her is that Ortis bought her a bunch of chickens to eat, and instead she named them all and kept them as her pets. And that's so
It
real.
was so valid of her. I wouldn't be able to kill a chicken either.
No.
Alex at one point was like, "Do you think you'd want to raise chickens?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd raise chickens."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Cool. Like, you feel confident that you could butcher them?" I was like, "Whoa,
I thought we were just
no."
getting pets, pal.
I was like, "No, no, I'm not gonna kill it."
Yeah, like I would absolutely keep chickens like for fun. And I would eat their eggs,
But
but I wouldn't
yeah,
eat
no, I
them.
need eggs, but I'm not gonna kill a chicken. I won't do that. No, I did also like one thing that did kind of piss me off a little bit about Cindy too was like the random flip we had like halfway through the book. Like it was not subtle. Like all of a sudden, I feel like just one day she was like, "Yeah, actually, like why is Ortis mad at me? Like he must just not want me anymore." And I don't that doesn't sit well with me. And I'm like, "Well, you're kind of being the worst to him."
Yeah. And granted, now he did kidnap her.
No,
I get
listen,
it.
she was stolen in the
But
night.
again, the monster romance formula dictates that, yeah, that freaks you out for a little bit, but then you start to fall in love. And you just weren't doing that, girl. You weren't doing your part.
Yeah, and it wasn't happening on the timeline we needed it to, and so I probably would have given up a little bit as well.
Yeah, he was like, I thought that she was supposed to be like chill with this by now.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Yeah, and Cindy just wasn't vibing with that, and then all of a sudden was like, "Wait a minute, but he doesn't fuck with me now, and that's just not okay." And I'm like, "Well, you actually can't have it both ways."
You're so right. Like, girl, give in to the Stockholm syndrome like the rest of us.
Come on, Cindy.
Fuck.
He's a good man.
He's a good man, Savannah. Let's talk about Ortis, actually, because he was like such a little sad boy, certified sad boy. He never fit in.
He's like, "Sorry, I'm so fucking ugly and
No, but
useless."
literally, it's a good fucking thing that the Krakens thought he was ugly because the way that they were described was like so hideous, and like if he did not look like a man, I'm sorry, but I could not have done it. I could not have been like, I can put that aside.
No.
No, they were scary. They were scary looking, and I would not have been able to look past that. I fear if he did not look like a man.
No, I am glad that he looked like a real boy and not a
A
eldritch
squid.
horror.
Ugh. Okay. I say that as if krakens like aren't supposed to literally be squids. But
No, but I feel like he was a little haughty. Like
yeah.
he was.
Yeah, because he had a man face and I love that.
It reminds me of this book I read when I was like in middle school. I don't remember what it was called, but it was like this girl like had troll or goblin or something like ancestry in her, and so to like all of the humans, like she looked really, really ugly. But then like she befriended some trolls and the trolls were like, "Wow, for like a human, like you're really not bad looking at all." And I was like, "Oh, it's kind of like that scenario."
They're like, you know what? Have you considered modeling?
Yeah, like you're a little haughty. His inner monologue was so funny. He was just so down bad and like so like unconfident in himself.
Yeah. And I thought that was like sweet. He was giving monster himbo, which is what I want in a monster romance. I did love that part. But he was just like a little too pathetic. It was kind of like depressing. Like his backstory was really sad.
It's really sad. He's like, "All my family's dead because of me and my ugliness and my insolence, and nothing's gonna bring him back."
And I was like, ooh, okay. Um, but you know what I loved is like his absolutely unhinged violent behavior and like how he basically
Yeah,
held a man under threat of death to teach him how to cook for Cindy. That was sweet.
that was really nice. And like he was willing to move mountains for her. And I did really appreciate that. And like him like stealing things in the dead of night to bring back to her so she had the comforts of the mortal world.
Including things that he had no business bringing to an island, like a
No.
refrigerator.
He's like, we're gonna ghetto rig this fridge to work for you, baby girl.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna take care of you.
he is just so precious to me.
He is a sweet boy. I love him. I hope Ortis lives forever.
Same.
Vaseline as well. That threw me when I was reading it because like he was like, yeah, it's Vaseline, and I was like, there's no way that's pronounced Vaseline. And then she repeated it too, and I was like, no,
Don't
no, it is.
He came with a
Okay.
label. He came with a name tag. That's Vaseline. He is like the worst, and I loved it. Like he's so misbehaved,
So
and he just
unhinged.
wants to always bite them.
I know. I love like in his point of view where he was like, yeah, I've got to fucking kill Ortis now. Like, there's nothing that's gonna stand between me and my girl.
Yeah.
And then the next one, he's like, why would I do that? Why would I kill Ortis?
And I thought it was really charming and original that she gave us a chapter from his point of view. Like I've never actually
We got a
seen that before.
couple.
Yeah, there was more than one. But I just have never seen that in a book before where it's like from the pet companion. I was like, "Oh my god."
It's like, you little freak, I love you.
Yeah, like that was such a fun idea. And it added like so much like humor infused into the tenseness.
When she was like on the verge of death and he brought her the coconut, and then it switches to his point of view, and he was like, I was so brave today. I saw her absolutely ravage my one true love, and I did not even bite her a little bit.
Yeah, he was like, I did that for you. My queen. You're welcome.
Vaz, you're a soldier, and we appreciate your work.
He's the goodest, baddest boy.
I love him.
I want to talk about Dee Dee because I understand that she's the villain of this story, but why did I love her? Like, like she was just trying to avenge her family. Like, I get it. Like, that was her sister. One thing, or was it? No, it was her grandma.
I don't think it was. Yeah, it wasn't her sister. It was
because like it happened a generation ago. I don't remember because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. It's been months since I read this book. I did read it, but that was her family member, and I understand Cindy was an innocent victim. That's fucked up, but like. Like there are victims in all of our stories. What can we do?
There are.
Like, I kind of was like, slay, girl. Do your thing.
And I understand why Cindy was chosen for this because it's like she's got nobody.
Yeah, she was like that little freak who's like having a psychotic breakdown in her little shed. Who's gonna miss her?
She doesn't have a lot to lose, so if it's gonna be anybody, it's gonna be her.
And I understand the logic behind it.
I get it, Dee Dee. I really do.
Is it wrong? Yes. Do I condemn it? Yes. Do I understand it? Also, yes.
But I feel like of all the choices, like that was the most logical. So I can't hold that against her,
A nearly victimless crime.
It truly is. Like it would have been a mercy, I think, in her eyes.
Yeah. And then Tommy
haunted the narrative.
For someone who died immediately, we could not let him go. And I thought that was kind of poetic.
Tommy lives forever in our memory and also Cindy's and also in the walls and in her everyday occurrences.
Yeah, I was like, can we just never fucking mention Tommy's name again? Thank you. That's enough of him.
I know the amount of times where she's like, oh my god, Tommy's here. I'm like, you were underwater. What do you mean?
When his face like changed into Tommy, I was like, ew.
Like, why would he be here?
Why would a human man be here?
I was like, do you think Baz would let that happen? No, he wouldn't.
First of all, yeah.
No, he would not.
Yeah. You've got the most loyal guard on watch 24/7, except whenever he's taking the time to get coconuts. But like, that's probably just like 10% of the day.
But not on his watch is he going to be letting that man in here.
Exactly. Let's talk first of all about the things that we liked, and then we'll kind of talk about the things that we didn't like as much. One thing that I just like that made me pick up this book and it made me like hyped for this book is the cover art. It's stunning. Once again, I have
so pretty.
Judged a book by its cover. It is just very well done. Beautiful. And it made it feel like it fit the vibe of like summer because the cover is just like beautiful ocean. Like it just made me want to read it.
And that is partially why we chose it.
Yeah.
It was for the
once
cover.
Again, I do judge books by their cover, and I know everyone else does too. And if you don't, you're lying.
I also love the fated mate trope. This one was very different though, because they actually weren't. It was all a scam. It was all a lie. They weren't fated mates, but they still loved each other enough to stay together. And I thought that was beautiful.
I thought that was a very sweet twist on it. And then like it was so funny because whenever she was like legitimately trying to stab him to like get away, like in self-defense, he was just like, "Oh my god, my mate is marking me."
I didn't think it was going to happen this fast.
Yes, he was smitten, and that was hilarious.
And when she bit him, he was like, "This is the second step. We're doing it."
Yes, he was like, "Fuck yeah. Oh my god." Something that was like really sweet as well, like actually genuinely made me like tear up a little is whenever he was like he told her to name the island and she named it after her father. And
I
like
did think that was nice.
yeah, because we got like these little snippets throughout the whole story of like how her father was like the only person pretty much who had ever loved her before. And now, like in death, like she didn't have anyone. And so finally, like she was starting to be like loved and supported by someone else again. And it was just like a full circle moment. It was very sweet.
Yeah, it was a way to like put his memory to rest, and I thought that was very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And then also the plot twist just with Dee Dee at the end was really good because I did not expect that from her until like right at the end whenever they were like eating together. I was like, I don't know, this does seem a little sad.
That was the first time that I was like actually questioning. I was like, what's wrong with her? Why is she acting like that? Up until then, I was just like, no. Dee Dee is cool. Dee Dee loves her.
That's her
Dee Dee's
friend.
They have
Dee
matching
Dee saved her.
tattoos. Literally, I was like, oh yeah, Dee Dee
A
kind
villain
of like
wouldn't do that.
took her under her wing and like, you know, helped her heal. No, absolutely not.
No. No, Dee Dee did that because she wanted to help her disappear so that when she actually did disappear, it wasn't suspicious.
Yeah, she was like, well, we gotta kind of make it so that you only rely on me.
Everyone does think you're dead.
Yeah, everyone already thinks you're dead. Yeah, I love Dee Dee. Justice for Dee Dee. Some things that we didn't like as much. I felt like the plot was a little bit muddled. Again, because we mentioned like Tommy haunting the narrative. Like, I understand you were trying to give her like this background and like here's why she's in this place and like why she's like paranoid, but it was just like a bit much. Like I said, I almost DNF'd this book because the beginning was just like draining me.
Like,
I was like, let me off this ride. For real.
part of the reason it took so long to get this book out for us was because I couldn't get through it for 2 months.
Yeah, it was just too much like going on and it was disjointed a little bit.
But she pulled it together at the end. The ending was very lovely, and I feel like the story did wrap up really well.
Yeah.
So I can't complain too much there.
I did feel like one thing at the end that was kind of confusing to me was Dee Dee's villain monologue. I felt like she ended up kind of explaining her motives for everything. It was like for her family, but you know, like that meme where the lady's got like equations floating by and she looks like confused. There's like math floating around her face. That is how I felt reading the monologue. I was like, I'm going to need you to spell it out for me, apparently, because I was just like so confused. I was like, why does she care? Oh, it was her family. And like, I don't know. Like, it did surprise me, but I also felt like it also kind of like annoyed me. I don't know. And maybe that's a me problem.
Well, that's fair. Now, there are a few things at the end that I did feel kind of hateful about, and I do feel bad that I felt that way. But like even in the epilogue when they're like I don't know why, but in a monster romance, it weirds me out when they're like, yeah, I want to breed with you. And I'm like, cool, breeding kink. But they're like, no, actually, though. And I'm like, oh, okay. So you want her to just carry around like your freak child?
Your little monster hybrid
like,
child.
that's what you want?
Well, I mean, that's how Ortis was made. He's part human.
I guess.
Yeah.
He is. But I don't know. It just, every time it doesn't sit right with me, I'm like, no. I don't want your creepy half squid child running around.
That's so valid, but then it would be kind of weird if they were like, yeah, I love you and I want to be your life partner, but like I draw the line at carrying your children. Like that wouldn't really fit the
No, for
narrative.
sure. Like, what if they just didn't want kids, you know? What if, like, why do they have to want
Yes,
them?
and I do love a child free by choice epilogue. I do love that.
Yeah.
I totally hear you. It makes sense. But like if
Your
they're
little mutant
if
child.
that's what they're wanting, they're like, yeah.
It's true.
Like
Yeah.
there's no way around it unless they do little interspecies adoption action.
Right. Yeah, Ortis is like, I'm gonna love my ugly son the way you love me.
You know what? No, because that is fucked up. That he's like,
I know. Ortis
I'm
is
an
like, I'm
abomination,
hideous.
but I'm gonna bring another kid who looks like me into the world, and they're gonna get bullied by all Kraken kind. And
yeah, the
not
Krakens are gonna fucking hate this one.
literally, that's kind of fucked up.
It is like, you just like set your child up for failure.
With intention.
Tragic. Wish him the best, truly. They're not gonna like it. The Krakens will be hearing about this.
Good luck to your unborn child. Wow. That is The Saltwater Curse by Avina St. Graves. And as you know, we kind of fell off our schedule a little bit. So we're actually doing like a little double release. And so you can hop right on over, how exciting, and listen to us discussing Caught Up by Nevessa Allen.
Yeah, we're just gonna really flip it to a completely different genre with real people and talk about the mafia.
No Krakens in that one.
No, not even a little bit. And then, surprise! I'm actually going to be on maternity leave. We're going to have another little best friend joining us in October. So we're taking a little bit of time off until November, where we're going to wrap up spooky season by talking about Mate by Allie Hazelwood, which we were very, very excited about, which is the sequel to Bride, which we have covered in the past.
Yes, I am so excited, first of all, for baby best friend to be here, but also to read this book. We were in the audience when Allie Hazelwood announced the timeline for Mate. And
on accident.
Everyone was like, Allie, were you supposed to say that? And she was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Just like, I didn't talk to my editor before this. My agent's going to be so mad.
It was so funny. And guess what? She got away with it because she can do no wrong, and she's perfect.
It's her world, and we're just living in it.
Okay, so enjoy your time off, read all these books, and we'll talk to you next time. And as always,
let's get lit.